Professor Cameron, thank you for the interview. Firstly, you're coming over to Jersey to basically to assess how your recommendations, the care inquiry's recommendations, have or haven't been implemented. What will this entail?
Well, as you'll remember, one of the recommendations that we made when we published the report 2 years ago now was that we should come back after about 2 years to review progress. That's quite unusual for an inquiry to do that. So we're very pleased that we have been indeed asked to come back and look at progress against the recommendations. So we've already been meeting a number of people in preparation for that. And we will be coming to the island in a week's time. We'll be there from the 13th of May for 2 weeks. And we have a programme of people who are meeting. We are still looking for people to contact us who want to talk with us. Quite a lot of the 2 weeks will meet people or make visits in private. But in the second week, we will have several days of public hearings at St Paul's Centre, just as we did at the end of the inquiry when we had the roundtable discussions. So we'll be looking to hear from as wide a range of people as possible as to how they think things are going in Jersey now in the light of the recommendations we made.
I suppose on that note, will you want to be hearing evidence from those, just so we need to clear this up, who were abused but never gave evidence to the inquiry? Or is it only for witnesses with knowledge of today's process, for instance?
We're open to hear from anybody, but I think we do need to be clear that what we can't do is kind of restart the inquiry as such and take on board new evidence that would be pertinent. That this really is focused on the 8 recommendations that we made, but we want to hear from people who know about the system, who have got a view about it, and whether they think it is making a difference or not. And if it's not making a difference, then we would want to know what people think should happen going on from this stage of the implementation of recommendations.
I suppose because within mind there, I've got, for instance, the survivors of the brutal regime up at Leshen. There's some survivors aren't sort of happy with the way they've been treated, etc. Now the way things are going. Would you encourage them to come and give evidence to you?
Yes, if people have got views about their current situation and how they have been treated, then yes, we would want to hear from them. But as I say, I wouldn't want to mislead people into thinking that we are going to open up the review. We're only there for two weeks. You know, remember, we were there for 2 years previously hearing evidence. Yeah. But obviously there have been developments around Leshen. We know that there is the new compensation scheme in place or coming into place. So that's a relevant factor to what has been going on. Okay. People can contact us in a couple of ways. We have a survey online, which we would encourage as many people as possible in the island to complete. It's only 10 questions. It doesn't take long to complete. And people can find that directly by going online and going to jerseysurvey.online, and that'll take them straight to the survey. Or we have set up a website for the panel for the review, which is ijcipanel.org, and you can get the survey there, but you can also get copies of the report that we published 2 years ago. You can find out more about how we're going to be doing it, and you can contact us through that website. And already people are doing that.
Oh, that's good. I will put, and I have put the details, contact details on my blog, and I'll put them up again.
Yeah, so that's really helpful.
Thank you. So people don't have to be on the island to give evidence, do they? Because I'm aware, for instance, that the former police chief, Graham Power, intends on submitting evidence. And obviously he's off island and others are off island. So, will they, can they submit, they can submit evidence?
Oh, yes. I mean, we're open to receiving evidence from anywhere. So if people want to send us that in writing, if they want to fill out the survey, and it's got spaces for people making comment, or indeed if there are people who we would want to meet with, we might do that off island, although we're fairly short for time for that now. But we can also talk to people as we're doing here by Skype or similar means.
Oh, that's good. So, will you be actually calling any witnesses, or will you be just relying on people coming forward?
We'll be relying on people coming forward, but we will be very specifically inviting, particularly for the public sessions, a number of people, inevitably people in the political field, people who are in senior positions responsible for services, because we want to hear from them about their perspective of what's happening and how they're taking things forward.
Okay, and will the public meetings and indeed the one-to-one meetings that you have be transcribed? Like, will any of the documents and evidence be uploaded to the website or given to Jersey Archive, including any transcription and and documents?
Yes, we're looking at arrangements just now for transcription, certainly of the public evidence. Obviously, some of the private evidence will be in private, but if people are happy for us to report on what they said, then we will obviously do that. It won't be in the forum that it was when we were doing the review, because that was a very elaborate and expensive arrangement that we had for the full inquiry. But we will be looking to publish the transcripts of what we do. The aim here is to do this in detail and carefully, but in a fairly short time space, and publish a report quickly thereafter. And our intention at the present time is that will be a relatively short and to the point report against each of the recommendations. The documents, as you know, are from the inquiry, are held at the Jersey Archive, and very sensitive documents are held securely off the island with very controlled access to those. And we felt that was important. So if there was anything that emerged in this phase that needed to be treated in that way, that would be added to the confidential material.
Yeah, I suppose just quickly, since you brought it up, because obviously the website has been taken down by our powers that be, for want of a better word, because of contradictions in supposedly in the redactions. Does the panel agree with firstly with your website being taken down, and indeed with the reason or supposed reason for the contradiction in redactions? Does the panel agree with that?
Well, I wouldn't want to go into that in too much detail just now. Some of that is decisions for Jersey, because the inquiry, when we published our report, we became, to use the fancy legal term, functus, so that the panel no longer exists. So that's an issue for Jersey. The material will be available at the archive, all the public material. And what was important was, where there were people whose identity needed to be protected, is that we have taken steps to ensure that that is protected over the long term, and that's in place.
That's cool. Okay, so just if you can remind us again, Professor, of when you'll be over and how long for.
We will be starting work in the island on the 13th of May. We'll be there until the 24th of May. We will be in our first week, a whole range of meetings with people who have contacted us or who we wanted to speak to, including care experienced young people and young people who are currently in care in the island. And then in the second week, we will be having a number of days where we will sit in public at the St Paul's Centre, and we'll hear evidence from a range of people in public, and the public will be happy to welcome to come in and sit in that.
Okay, and I suppose lastly, these questions keep coming into my head, is will you be doing like a press conference where media can come and ask questions of the panel whilst you're over?
I think we will look at that. I don't think we'll do that during the time that we are hearing evidence. When it comes to publishing the report, then yes, we will be doing that in such a way that the press can talk with us. One of the things that will be important in this, because they are key players, is that during the review, we will want to hear from the press as well about their perception, and that would include the likes of yourself.
Oh yeah, I'll look forward to the opportunity. Well, thanks again, Professor, for the interview and for coming over and checking up on how things are going or not. And we look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, we look forward to be back in Jersey and meeting a whole range of people.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.